Hey everyone. So it is so important to know how to use the SAT strategies on this test. Now, if you don't know the strategies, I highly recommend you stop the video right now and go sign up for a lesson on beyondthetest.com to understand how to use these strategies a little bit better here. But I'm going to show you why it's important and how it can save you a ton of time on this test. So let's look at this first question here. It says, in the given system of equations, k is a positive integer constant. The system has no real solutions. What is the least possible value of k? Okay, now one thing that you need to know about a system is that if there's no real solutions, it means that your two lines don't intersect. Now in this case, when you're dealing with a quadratic, you can also set it equal to 0 and figure out when your discriminant is going to be less than 0 when you have imaginary roots, because that would be when you have no real solutions here. Now, let's actually start to do this out using the discriminant method here. And I just want to kind of show you how long this takes using this method. So what I would do here is, first off, I would just substitute in this y equals negative 3.5 there. And you know what? Actually, let's stop this one second here. Let me make sure we keep this on the screen. Okay, let's reset this. Okay, so let's take that y equals negative 3.5 and substitute that in here. So we get negative 3.5 is equal to x squared plus 10x plus k. Now I want to get this set equal to 0, so we're going to add that 3.5 to the other side here. So now we have 0 equals x squared plus 10x plus k plus 3.5. Now you have to also remember a formula if you're going to do it this way, which is the discriminant formula, which is b squared minus 4ac, and we want to know when that is less than 0 for no real solutions. So we're going to use that here. We're going to say, okay, b squared would be 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times the whole c term, which is actually this whole thing, k plus 3.5, and I want to know when that is less than 0. Okay, so 10 squared we're going to get is 100, and then 4 times 1 is just 4 times k plus 3.5, and then that's less than 0. Now we're going to have to distribute that negative sign through here. So we get 100 minus 4k, and then that's going to be minus 14 is less than 0. So we can go ahead and combine these together. 100 minus 14 is going to be 86 minus 4k is less than 0. And now we can go ahead and solve this out here. So I would subtract that 86 to the other side. We get that negative 4k is less than negative 86. And then we're going to divide by negative 4 here. Now also when you divide by a negative, the sign is going to flip there. So we're going to say that k then has to be greater than or equal to. And now we got to do this out here where we can simplify this down. So 86 divided by 4. Let's just see what that is really quickly here. 86 divided by 4 is 21.5. And so if k is greater than 21.5, then the least possible value of k would have to be 22. Now here's the thing about that though. That just took us 2 minutes and 20 seconds to complete here. So we don't want to spend that much time on the test going through a problem like this when there's a much easier way. And that's why using the Desmos strategy is going to be very helpful here. So let's try this again, but this time we are going to use Desmos to help us out. So let's go ahead and start the clock on this. And for Desmos, if we just use our strategy, we've talked about this before, you can just type this in. So I could type in y equals negative 3.5, and then just type in the y equals x squared plus 10x plus k, and we're going to add that slider in. Okay, and let's zoom out so we can see everything. Now we're just going to slide it until there's no more values where they intersect. So I'm going to make this into 30 here, let's just say, and then continue to slide it. Okay, so right there we could see there's going to be one real solution. So anything greater than 21.5 is a solution, which means k would have to be 22. You just did that now in 42 seconds or less compared with the 220. So if you're finding yourself having a lot of timing issues on this test, this is definitely something you want to take advantage of. So again, I highly recommend you take a lesson, sign up, beyondthetest.com. Make sure you learn all these strategies so that you're maximizing your time on this test and maximizing your overall score.